Fathers today are more likely than in the past to find themselves encouraged, permitted, sometimes wanting, at other times compelled, to take on new roles caring for babies and very young children. Some even become primary caretakers of newborns, with no mother involved at all. These nurturing men may be bottle feeding rather than breastfeeding, yet they respond to babies as sensitively as the most caring mother does. Given social science's well-documented finding that everywhere fatherhood is culturally defined, and given the rate at which culture is changing, should anyone be surprised? Behavioral flexibility, after all, is a human specialty. Why shouldn't paternal behavior morph right along with new socioeconomic and cultural circumstances, like women working, lapsing patriarchies, and novel methods for conceiving or feeding babies? Aren't such transformations exactly what we would expect? Well, actually, no. Not if we thought culture alone could produce them. Radiant new fathers, deeply involved in the care of their offspring, do not appear to be going sullenly against nature. In fact, their responses are profoundly biological, with more than culture at play, as scientists discovered when they began to examine what happens in the bodies and brains of men intimately involved with babies. Endocrinologists documented changes in hormone levels that resembled those in mothers, and as neuroscientists started to scan the brains of primary caretaking men, they found that their brains as well responded the same way a mother's would. On learning this, a mother who gave birth in the 20th century might well respond with an expletive and an exasperated, "Why didn't we know this sooner?" As a mother and a grandmother, and also a primatologist and evolutionary anthropologist, however, I was more than surprised. I was profoundly puzzled. How on Darwin's earth can this be? I have written whole books about maternal love and ambivalence, with emphasis on the former. Few people could be more aware than I that we humans are mammals whose females invest heavily in their young, gestating, birthing, and then suckling them. Such processes prime mothers to respond to and passionately care about little creatures that need nurturing. Maternal brains are wired to ensure we do so. According to the standard Darwinian script, while females were nurturing babies, males were otherwise occupied, mostly competing for status and mates, often violently or coercively. While a mother's top priority is likely to be the well-being of her children, a male's will be siring more of them. In line with such Darwinian preconceptions, across culture and through historical time, there are few, if any, records of men turning their lives over to babies the way women do. Instead, what we find is a near universal expectation that baby care is women's work. Volume after volume chronicling human evolution, conquests, and the history of civilization features the exploits of men, usually men in opposition to or in concert with other men. Pair men with babies, and the search comes up blank. Yet now comes evidence that men who never underwent gestation, never gave birth, much less lactated, men who through most of human evolution and history did not tend babies, respond to them as sensitively as mothers do. When primarily responsible for an infant's care right from birth, men undergo remarkably similar endocrinological and neurological transformations.